Hello everybody. I decided to make a video about English-Slovak lexical similarities, and the reason why I'm doing this video is because I wanted to help certain people, especially the foreigners who are learning the Slovak language. So there was one particular video that triggered me doing this video. So let's see it here. It's by Yono.
Good afternoon, guys. Another random video here. Just come on to have a bit of a rant, really. Not a rant, but geez, like Slovak is so hard to learn. I am trying my hardest to learn this language, and it is not sinking into this thick skull of mine. If I had any hair on my head, I would probably be pulling it out right now. Now, sort of like stop me from hanging out with people, going out for drinks or anything like that, because I don't like having my partner having to read a Slovak sentence with all those little kicks and marks and stuff on top of the writing. It really like confuses the life out of me. So if you've got any tips, please let me know. Also, I never asked for this, but if you are watching this video, please subscribe and me. So
subscribe to his channel if you want. There is this girl called Kimberly, and so let's.
And the word railway station is Železnica i stanica. Oh, I'm so good. No, not at all. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about why Slovak language is so difficult to learn. A few weeks back.
Yeah, so this is another one, and we have the third one.
Hey guys, how's it going? I hope everyone's doing well and is having a really good Monday. Now I'm not shooting outside because it's rainy, it's overcast. The weather, we're going into fall, so it's not really summer anymore. I would say that this is like a California winter, so I'm wearing a hoodie right now. But I just kind of wanted to talk about how the Slovak language can be really difficult to learn, and I've been living here in Slovakia for just about a year now, and I feel like I should be able to speak it more fluently than I do, because I haven't practiced like every day or all the time. But the language can be really tough to learn, definitely tougher than something which is supposed to be easy like Spanish, but
yeah, so
a lot of people online say that.
Yeah, so this guy's name is Sterba or Sterba. I don't know how to pronounce. I would say Sterba because it sounds like that to me. Anyway, so you see, these people struggled. So I will put these headphones down. So as you can see, these people struggled learning the Slovak language, and yeah, for me as a native speaker of the Slovak language, it sounds quite funny, to be honest. And yeah, we really do have certain diacritics, those little roofs and other things, yeah, marks. But they have a very good meaning, and they're very simple actually. So yeah, I created an article so that I can have a certain idea what I want to talk about, and so that you also can see the written text. So it's not only about me speaking, but it's also important to see the words and how I pronounce them in the Slovak language. But first, I want to make some introduction. My name is Pradrev. And that's my chosen name. That's not my real name. And I do some teachings about different various topics, not related to this one, but this is really something related to languages. And since I'm really interested in languages, I decided to share my, I wouldn't say knowledge, but share my experience. Okay, let's put it this way. All right, so yeah, I started learning English when I was quite old, I have to say. It was in the 3rd grade in the university. I was born during socialism. I learned Russian. I cannot speak it really. Then I decided to learn German because at that time, you know, the world was a completely different place, and there was English was not so popular at the time, and we had Austria and Germany, which are German-speaking countries, right behind the corner, and so I decided to learn German. It was a big mistake from my side, I have to say, because then I kind of missed the English language. When I went to university, I really struggled during, like, when we were learning how to program and everything. English was important, was an important language. It was just, you know, it was the main language, and so I really struggled, and I had to start learning English. And my first sentence that I learned at the time, I remember when we were kids, we got books from some acquaintance from Bratislava. Those were like child books, and they were about a rabbit and, you know, all kind of stuff, you know, these fairy tales. And there was one nice picture about a man who was helping to build a new house, and there was this sentence in the text, and that was the first sentence that I learned, and it read, Mr. Carpenter was helping to build a new house. Yeah, here is the sentence, and I remember the sentence till nowadays. Okay, and so yeah, it was really really my first sentence. So it's a very strange sentence, you have to admit. And yeah, so now let's learn some funny Slovak sentences, so that you may learn something and you can be proud, and you can show to your friends that you can speak a little bit Slovak. So there is a very simple sentence which I used to use when I met some Americans. It's a Slovak sentence, but it sounds quite English. And the sentence reads like this: Do you vetri, do you? So it's nothing like do you that, you know, it's not like that. It has nothing to do with the word English word do, but it really reads like do you vetri, do you? And do you means like blow. Okay, they blow. So vetri means wind and do you means actually blow, they blow. So it's the translation of the sentence would be, do the winds blow, do they? So that's the translation. Yeah, so I enlarged the text a little bit so that you can see better. Anyway, let's go to another sentence. Another sentence would be like this. I read it. Stretch, prst, skrz, krk. So what? Do you think it's difficult? Yeah, it sounds crazy, to be honest. Yeah, but so let's do it again. Stretch, prst, skrz, krk. Yeah. You might wonder how I'm able to read this sentence at all, but as you can hear, there is a schwa sound in the words, yeah, but it's not written here. So stretch, it's after R. Stretch, okay. Prst. It's after R again. Prst. Prst. Skrs, again, it's like sk. Skr. It's again after R. Skr. Skrs. Okay. And krk, again after R. Krk. 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 And here it is written. So if I usually the schwa letter is written differently, but let's use this add character for schwa, and so I would transcribe this sentence as this: strch prst skrs krk. Yeah, strch prst skrs krk. Now it's a little bit easier, I think, to pronounce. So you see, we don't really write the schwa sound in the words, which can be quite tricky, and you have to really know where the schwa sound is put. And the sentence strč prst skrs krk literally means put a finger through a neck. Like that. Put a finger through a neck. Like that. It's a funny sentence. It's an artificial construction. Doesn't really mean anything. We don't use this sentence in our lives. It's just a funny sentence which has no vowel, yeah, in it. So, Yeno, or what was his name? Yono, sorry, Yono. Yono was wondering about these strange diacritics, strange roofs and all those marks about the letters, but they're actually quite simple. Yeah, we use these funny letters with roofs and other diacritics, and the roof is a softener. Okay, so just the common S would be pronounced as S, but this S with the roof, it's actually softened. So the S would be softened to sh. Okay, so again, ts, you know. So this is the letter ts. You would probably, as an English native speaker, you would probably read it as s or k, you know, but really in the Slovak language it is ts, pronounced as ts, ts together, ts together, ts. But when it is with the roof, the ts is softened to ch. Okay. So we have this ch, then we have z, softened would be j, t, softened would be t, l, softened would be l, and we have another letter which is written as a combination of these two letters. When you read it together, it sounds like z. So it's pronounced as one letter, z, but really it is like d and z together. Z, d, z, dz, dz, but together it's z. Yeah. And when it is softened, it is the English G. So z softened would be j, like in George. Yeah. And then n softened would be ny. And this is how the English speakers usually write it down with this Y letter. So it's SH, CH, ZH, DY for Q, LY for L, G for J, G for J, and NY for Ny. And we also have a different type of these diacritics, and it's this acute. and it makes the sound longer. Okay, so for example, we have the word love, so it's like really long, like ah. Yeah, the normal a would be like ah, but longer would be like ah. Everybody, someone asked me in the past, like an American asked me, like how I write this ah with the diacritics, and yeah, I have a keyboard. Yeah, this is my keyboard, and I just switch between the keyboards. And for example, right now I have a numeric keyboard where I have the numeric the numbers, yeah. But I also have, if you look closely, I have if I switch the keyboard, so where the numbers are, I have the letters with diacritics, yeah. So like that, you know. And so I very quickly switch between keyboards, depending on whether I write in English or in Slovak. Okay, so this would be a, this would be e. So English people would read this as e, but now it's like e in the word vet, yeah. So but it's a long one, so it's e. E, this is e, so it's like in beep, yeah, it's a long e. You know, it's very easy because actually in the Slovak language it is very easy and simple, because when I write e, it's always pronounced as e, and when I write the acute, the line, little line, it means pronounce it longer, so like e. And also like o, like in for, yeah, for. English people would read this as o, but it's not in the Slovak. It's in Slovak language it is o, and this is u, like in voodoo, u. English would read it as u. No, in Slovak it is u. And like English o, English would pronounce this o as o, but in Slovak, if I want to write down the sound o, I would have to put o and u, o. So in Slovak, this is how I write the sound o. In English, this is o. In Slovak, this is o. O, u, o. Okay? So that's how it's working. Okay, and we have then some very funny letters like this one, like we call it like wide a, but it's pronounced like black in the American English, but we don't really pronounce it that way anymore. We just don't care. We pronounce it. We are lazy, so we pronounce it as just regular e. Yeah, so I would put it here like that. This equals e, okay, e. Otherwise, this would be pronounced as a, really like white e. Yeah, but we don't care, like, we don't want to do that exercise with our mouth. Okay, I explained this z and j, but we have another one, which is h. H is something that English doesn't have as a sound, but it is, we write it as a combination of C and H. I think it is because even though we pronounce C as ts, so it doesn't make sense to pronounce it the way we would pronounce this single letters, like ts. So this is ts and this is h. This is a h. So if I pronounce it together, it's like ts, but it doesn't make sense in Slovak, okay? You have to pronounce it as if you were reading this one as K, K, and this as H, as H, like in house, yeah? So like here, K and H, and together K, K, yeah? But it's not, that's just an approximation of the sound, but it's like K, H, H, H. It's really like H, okay? So this is how we write the sound, by two letters, by a combination of the two letters. So now you have the basics, really. I don't know how much time it took, but yeah, already 20 minutes. But anyway, this is the very basics of the Slovak alphabet, yeah. And then I should really be talking about differences between Slovak and English, because both languages are Indo-European languages, which means they have a common ancestor, and a lot of words have the same roots and the same shape or very similar shape, and those root words changed according to certain rules, and if you know the rules, then you can really guess or understand the relationship between the English and the Slovak letters, words, yeah. So yeah, the first rule is called metathesis, and basically that is something like swap, yeah. So we swap the combination of a consonant and a vowel to a vowel and a consonant, yeah. So example, yeah, this example would be with the German word Berg. Berg means a hill, but in the Slavic languages we use breg, which means a bank of a river, okay. So you see the combination ER, but here is the combination RE. So they just swap the positions, ER to RE. And that's how the Slavic would make their words. Berg, breg. I have to say that Russian is much similar to the original, because actually the Germanic languages use the original version, and the metathesis happened in the Slavic languages. Not so much in Russian, but anyway. So metathesis is the one rule which you can see often, and another rule would be, that's how I call it, similar sounds. And there are certain groups of letters which are kind of interchangeable because they have basically the same sound but with different accents. Sometimes they are accented and sometimes they are not accented, you know. And so we have this first group is the group of these letters: B, B, P, V, F, and rarely T. Yeah. So let's go through some examples. And like, for example, it is important to say that the Slavic languages didn't have the sound F. They didn't have it in the past. Now we do, because we learned by the centuries how to pronounce it and how to write it down. But long time ago there was no F. The F developed in the Germanic languages, but originally instead of F there used to be P or B or V or something, but the Germanic languages just changed that sound to F sometimes. So for example, if we take the German word die Farbe, which means a color, then in the Czech language it is called barva because it was accepted from the German language, but since the Czechs were unable to pronounce F, the letter F, they substituted the F letter by the B. So they have barva, barva. They substituted the B by a similar one, which is V, and F substituted by B. And so instead of the Farbe, they have barva. And like, for example, if we take a look at the English word true and the Slavic word pravdivý, which also means true, you can see the similarity because the T corresponds to the P. Yeah, like for as I wrote here, P and sometimes T, but it's a rare connection. But again, U, which we pronounce as U, it is replaced by V, V. And so, yeah, maybe I should have put U here as well. I will add it because you see U is replaced by V. So I forgot to put U sound here. I have to add it and I will do it. But I will not be redoing this video because of it, okay? Then we have another group of similar letters, and those are G, G, it's actually G, H, H, and K. You see, they sound kind of similar. And so you have to understand that in the Slovak language, the original letter G, which is pronounced as G, changed to H. So for example, when we have the word grob, that is in the Old Slovak, and still it is in the South Slavic languages like in Croatian, Serbian, Bulgarian, and even Russian, Polish, I think. So they still keep the G letter, and it's in English, it's grave. So even the English keeps the original G sound, but in the Slovak, the G kind of got softened to H, and that's why we say hrob, hrob. Okay, not grob, but hrob. And you can see in this word grob, in English grave, they are basically almost the same words. But you have the B and V, and therefore you basically have the similar letters from the first group. So you have B and V, yeah. So B was kind of replaced by V, and G remained as G. So grob and grave are the same words. And then we have similar letters D and T. I don't have an example for it. And then we have T and T and T. They are also similar, okay? And so, for example, the Magyars, the Hungarians, they didn't have the sound T, and therefore they replaced it by the sound T, and they wrote T for C, for T, yeah? So if you see Hungarian words which have the sound T, that means they were accepted just recently, because the old Hungarian language would use T sound instead. because Hungarian language accepted a lot of words from the Slavic languages because they moved into the Slavic land, and from the Slavs living around them, they accepted a lot of Slavic words. But whenever there was the ts sound, they replaced it by the t sound, yeah. But not in the words accepted, let's say, in the last 50 years or 100 years, yeah. Then they already have the ts sound, yeah. Like in the town called Debrecen, I don't know even how they call it, what they call it now. Debrecen, I think they call it Debrecen, but they already have the ts, which definitely comes from the Slovak language, because if they accepted that name 1,000 years ago when they arrived in the Carpathian Basin, they would replace this letter by the letter T, so it would be Debrecen, yeah, but they pronounce it Debrecen, so they already have that sound. Anyway, also these are similar letters, S, Sh, Z, J, and all softened letters are similar to their origin, yeah. The perfect example of the two rules, I mean metathesis and similar sounds, would be in the cognates for and pre. This is in English, this one is in Slovak. So original form would be per, that's in Latin, and I think that's also in the European. And if we apply similar letter, so we substitute the P sound by the Germanic F sound, we get for in English and für in German. But if we apply the second rule on this Latin per, which is the metathesis, I put MTH, metathesis, then we get the Slovak pre. Okay, metathesis is the swapping, okay? Swapping of the combination of ER to RE. ER to RE. So we say pre in Slovak, per in Latin. In the Czech language, they use pro, which is more similar to for, because here, if we change this or to ro, that's what appears in the Czech language. So pro is more similar to for than pre to for. The reason why this metathesis happened in the Slavic languages is probably because of the rhythm, change of the rhythm. In the Slavic languages, certain sounds disappeared, like for example, the hard sign, which sometimes in Russian it is called yer, and they disappeared, and basically that's the reason why there is this change of the order of the vowel and consonant. The original form is like here in Latin, per, and we have the P as a consonant followed by a vowel and then again by a consonant. So these first two letters create a syllable following by another consonant. So we get per. And that's how the ancient people wanted to speak, like to have the rhythm, consonant, vowel, and so on. Yeah, in Russian, like if we take the word milk in English, sorry, that's in English, and if we if we take mlieko, that's in Slovak, and if we take the word malako, that's in Russian, we see that we have, again, consonant, vowel, consonant. That's the original order. In Slovak, it changed to consonant, consonant, vowel. But in Russian, they still keep the order consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel. So it's quite regular. In Slovak, it is irregular because this there used to be a hard er in here, which is the schwa sound, sorry, like that, but that disappeared. Okay, therefore we say mlieko. So that's the reason for these two rules, why they happened, why they appear, and U4 would be the shortest word where we can see both of them applied. And then there is the third rule, which is called palatalization. And basically that means that's the softening, okay? But we can soften not only s to sh, ts to ch, but also we can soften k to ch, and that's a regular change. Yeah. So for example, if you have krk, which is a neck, and krčit, yeah, krčit to bow, yeah, you see the last k letter got softened, palatalized to ch, because the following letters is e, and whenever the following letter is e or e, then we always palatalize these letters. So k is palatalized to ch. Okay. Again, g, but nowadays Slovaks don't say g, Slovaks say h, is softened to ž. So for example, we have noha, which is a leg. In the past, Slovaks would have said noga, but nowadays they say noha. And if we soften, so nožný, it's like leg-like, yeah, it's like related to leg, nožný. So this h was softened to ž, yeah, that's the rule. Then we have h sound that is softened to sh. So for example, we have the word duch, which is a spirit or ghost, and then we have the word dušovať, which means to swear. But again, you see, duch, h, is softened to sh, yeah. And then we have d, and that is softened to d, but we just add the roof. But in this case, when the letter is quite narrow, we don't write the roof, we just write a little, how to say, a little line, which means that's the replacement, because we want it to look nice. And if we wrote the D with the roof, it would be too wide, yeah. And so we want to keep it narrow, therefore we just put the little line, yeah, like that, instead of the roof. But it really means the roof, because if we wanted to write the D with the acute, with like a prolongation, it doesn't make sense, because the D letter, the D, cannot be pronounced as long D, because it's a consonant. Only the vowels can be long, yeah. Sometimes we have a long L, like dlška, but we don't really pronounce the long L, but there is the schwa sound, which is long, like dl, yeah, dlška. So we have the schwa sound there. Anyway, then we can soften t sound to ch, l sound to l, and n sound to ny. And we don't really write down those roofs when after the consonant there follows the letter e or e. I'm saying it in Slovak. So in English it would be the I letter or E, okay? But in Slovak it is E and E, okay? So because we automatically kind of expect that whenever, that's the rule, whenever there is this E or E letter following, the consonant before is softened. And we are lazy, we don't write the roof then. So this would be pronounced nie, die, la. So all three of these are soft or softened. So it's actually not, it's not n, it's ny, it's not d, it's j, and this one is already with the roof, so it's l. So it's nie, die, la. And if you wanted to write it with the roofs, it would be written as here, ny, die, and l. Nie, die, la. So it is the same sound. This sound is the same sound as this one, but this one is grammatically incorrect, okay? So we don't write like this. There would be two errors in this word, this roof and this roof, yeah? And that's already two mistakes. And yeah, if you wrote the dictate in the lesson or in the, you know, then yeah, you wouldn't get a good mark. There is one important thing which we have to talk about, and it is the accent. The accent is very important because the language, the speech, contains the rhythm, but also the accent. The accent in the Slovak language is always on the first syllable. So it is quite different from the English language, because in English the accent can vary from the first syllable to the second, third, and so on before the last one syllable. Like, for example, the English word successful has the accent on the second syllable, successful, but the Slovak people tend to make a mistake and they would say successful, because the accent, they would put the accent on the first syllable. That's how I used to speak when I was in the United States, and I worked with certain women in the housekeeping, you know. They they couldn't understand what I'm saying because I was talking about something successful, and they thought that I was talking about some sex. They wanted me to spell the words, and then they said, "Oh, you mean successful? Okay." So then I realized that the pronunciation, the accent is very important, where the accent is put actually. Yeah, the Russians, they have the accent before the last syllable, sometimes on the last syllable, like in the word молоко, which means the milk. So they say молоко, молоко. Yeah, the accent is on the last syllable in this word. But for example, see you in Russian is like до свидания, до свидания. So it's like on the before the last syllable, до свидания. But in the Slovak, it's like dovidenia. It's always on the first, dovidenia. And if there is a preposition in the Slovak language, like in the sentence, like we have a noun and the preposition before it, then the accent is on the first syllable, which in this case goes on the preposition. So it's like if we say on the table, in Slovak it is na stole, on the table, na stole. But the accent would be on the first one, na stole, okay, na stole. So this is how it works. In the Eastern Slovakia, they speak more like Russians. They put the accent like almost like Russians before the last syllable. So they speak like Italians basically, and they also have that attitude, kind of hot attitude. But the correct Slovak, the correct really, I would say, yeah, the correct Slovak always puts the accent on the first syllable. And maybe we should tell something about the pronunciation. In English, they have the letters V and W. V is pronounced as V. When you bite your lip, V, V. And W is pronounced as W, W. Neither of these two letters exist in Slovak. In Slovak, the V is pronounced very mildly with loose lips. You don't bite, you don't round your lips, you just pronounce V, V, yeah, V. Like in vietor, vietor. Yeah, it sounds more like the W, vietor, but it would be vietor in like if I use the W at the beginning, okay, but it's not really W, it's vietor. So it's something in between the V and W, yeah. The English T sound is pronounced differently in the Slovak language. And in English, when there is the T at the end of a word, like for example in the word different, so the last T is not pronounced. So it's like different, or hot, hot. Yeah, it's not hot, but hot, hot, hot. Yeah, and in Slovak we always pronounce the last T, so it's like hot, hot, different, different. Yeah, we speak like that. And also in the Slovak language we don't have the English sound the, so yeah, we just don't have it. That's why it is very difficult for us to pronounce it, and we approximate that sound by sometimes by F, like think or think, you know. That's for the people who cannot really pronounce that sound the, like thing or the, in the water. Yeah, like the water. Yeah, here it is interesting. If you are an American and you say water, you have the flapped T in the word water. That's the R, the water, water. We don't do that. We always say water, water, water. So it would be T, water. Yeah, always T. Slovaks would always pronounce the T as T, T, always. And so now let's go to the list of the similar words. So for example, I created some categories. So the first one I named articles and pronouns. Yeah, so in English you say I for like me, like I, but in Slovak we say ja. And you see it is almost the same thing, even though it's written differently, but we don't pronounce this J as J, like in English, but we always pronounce it as Y. So that's the difference. This is Y. So Y and A together, it's Ja. And English is pronounced as I, But if I want to write it, the pronunciation in the Slovak letters, it would be A and Y. I. But in Slovak, it is Ja. Ja. So it's the order of the letters is swapped. And that is called metathesis. Okay. So they are basically the same words, but a different rule is applied on them. Okay. And then, for example, the English the, this is an ancient word. It's not used anymore. This is from the ancient English, the, which means you. But we say a similar word. We say ti. So this is the, and this is ti. The, ti. And it means the same thing. Means you, like one person, you. So we have similar letters, the and t. And then we have another pronoun, mi, in English, mi. But in Slovak, we say also mi, but we write it differently, because we would write m, and e. This is the e sound in Slovak always, yeah? Mi, mi. Sometimes, I have to tell you, the e sound we write as this or this. This is also e. There's no difference in pronunciation, yeah? Pronunciation. It's e, e. The same thing, e, e. The only difference is grammatical. So it means, like, you cannot write ženy. This is incorrect. That means women. You have to write ženy. Because if you write it this way, you would have to pronounce it ženi. Because, as I told you about the rule, this e and this e, they automatically soften the consonants before, automatically. So this would be read as ženi, ni. But while this one doesn't soften, but it's still e, but it doesn't soften this n, this n before. So this would be read as ženy, ženy, ženi, ženi. Okay. And then we have in English, there is this pronoun us, but we say nas. So you see, in German it's uns, which means us, us. Basically the n disappeared in English, so it's us. But in Slovak, it really, there was this metathesis, and this u and un, this combination swapped, and it was nu, s, nus. But we don't say nus, we say nas, okay? So it's, in English it's us, but in Slovak it's very similar, it's nas, okay? In English we have it, like it is, it has, it does, it. But in Slovak we say to, t, o, which means it. If you really think about it, it, if you swap the letters, you get t, but we don't say t, we say to. Okay, like here in English it is it. If you swap the letters, you get t, but we don't say t, we say to. Okay. And again, English has the word that, like that table, that book, but we say hen ten, hen ta. So you see that, and we say ta. Yeah, hen means like over there, that, okay, or over that, it, something like that. And then the English article, the, and we say ten, ta, to. Yeah, but it's always starting with a T. So even the article, the, has a certain correspondence in the Slovak language, but in the Slovak language or the Slavic languages keep the various forms. This one is for males, this one is for females, and this one is for neutrum. It's like for things, or basically like a neutral gender, something which is not a male or a female. Like in the Slovak language, we can have, like in English, he is always like a male or a living person, he, or a dog, if it's he. She is always like a living person or living being, but a female. And it is for everything else, but not like, it's not like that in Slovak. In Slovak, a car can be it, but food can always be it. So it's like eat food, yeah. And yeah, or for example, closet, the closet. In Slovak, the closet is a female, yeah. Skriňa, skriňa. It's a female gender, yeah. So this is difficult. I can understand, because the foreigners have to learn the gender of the things, you know, of the nouns. So, and here I have another English word, which is the same, and in Slovak we say ten sami, which sounds basically the same way. And now I want to speed up a little bit. So here you can see this is the link to this article. So if you want, you can type it or search for it, and you can read this article. I will put the link in the description under the video. And I will go very quickly. I think it is important that you hear how I pronounce the words. And I will explain where I find it important. The similarity, yeah, I will describe the similarity. So in English you say one, and in Slovak we say jeden, and in Russian it's один. So if you think about it, one really comes from один. It's like one. If you kick off this D, it's like on, один, jeden, one, yeah. English two. If I read this two in the Slovak way, so this letter is T, V, O. So if I read it together, it's tvo. But in English it is two, but in Slovak it would be tvo, and we say dva. So basically T and D are similar letters, okay? And then three, we say tri. They're basically the same thing. Six, we say šesť. Basically almost the same. Seven, we say sedem. And now the preposition and conjunctions. That, he told me that, yeah. We say že. It doesn't sound very similar, but I have to say it is, because the, že, it is actually quite similar. In the Slovenian language, it is da. So that, da. Okay. Front, in English, front, like in front of something. In Slovak, we say pred. That's a preposition, okay? Pred. So, as you can see, this P and F, as I said, are similar letters. So, also this D and T, or T and D, are also similar letters. And so, basically, these two words are the same letters with just some minor change in the pronunciation of the similar letters, yeah. I have to say that the Slavs, I already said it at the beginning, that the Slavs didn't have the sound f, and therefore we always used something similar to F, which is P, P, B, or something like that. Therefore, we don't pronounce this word with the F sound, but we use P, pred. English too, which is a, I think, preposition, like I go to the church or something like that, yeah. I go to. In Slovak, we say idem do. To, do. But if I pronounce this in the Slovak way, it is t, o. So it is really to. Not to, but to. And this is do. To, do. So those words are basically almost the same, but there's a little similarity between the T and D, okay? On, in English, like on the table. In Slovak we say na, because there is this metathesis, yeah? On, swapped would be no, and we say na, so I can show you. On, if I swap, would be no. In Slovak it's pronounced as no, but we don't say no, but we say na. So in German it is actually an, and in Slovak it is completely swapped, na. So this is how you can easily learn some of the prepositions. English mid, like in the middle, mid. It means medzi in Slovak, it means in between, or medza means a border. So you see mid, meds, it's kind of similar. Now, I will talk about the human related words. So a man is, in Slovak it is muž, which means a man. In German it is Mensch, like a human being, Mensch. In Polish, mężczyzna means a man or male, yeah. But they use the nasal sound, so this is a nasal sound. In Slovak, the nasal sounds were disappeared, really. So they changed into different forms without the nasal sound. So yeah, this is Polish. It's really crazy how it is written. So they actually, this is ch, this is n, yeah, that's the nasal e, męż, męż, čizna, mężczyzna. Okay, so that's how they say, but it's basically very similar to Mensch, which is in German, and if you kick out the sh sound, you get men, which is in English man. But this n sound, this nasal sound, which is in Polish, in Slovak it changed into the u sound, u. always, yeah, or most of the time. So it's like it's muž, yeah. It's not mange, but it's muž. Yeah, so even there is a similarity. A man is a muž, muž. In English, you have a queen or a wench. And in Slovak, we have žena, which means a woman. And you wouldn't believe, but these words are very, very related. And queen, if you soften this K, if you treat this one as G, then if you soften it, you get J. So it would be not queen, but žuín, but we say žena. Žena. So a woman, žena means a woman, and queen means like a female king, yeah? Wench. Wench sounds kind of similar to me as the word ženština. Wench, ženš, ženština, which is a woman in Russian. A child. Yeah, who would say that a child or a kind are related words? And they really are. And in the Slovak, we would say čeľaď. Čeľaď, like child. You see child. You have the č, l, d, and we have č, l, d, yeah. Čeľaď, čeľaď, čeľaď. And this means a kind, a flock, or a race, yeah. It's čeľaď. It's like a group of animals, čeľaď, yeah. Kind, basically, kind of animals, yeah. In Old Slavic, we had the word change. So it was pretty much like this kind, but the K was softened to ch. So it was like change. It was change, and it really means children, yeah, or a kind as well. We used to have a nasal sound, but now we don't. We just got rid of it. But in Russian, they say chado. Now up to these days, chado, which means children. Yeah. But they also say ryběnok, but they also have a word chado for a child. So it is similar. And I think the reason why they have this word is because in Russia, they're used to travel these Vikings from Scandinavia, and they mixed up with the local population, and I believe the local Slavic population accepted some Germanic words, or that's basically how it might have happened. In English, you say widow, and we say vdova. Yeah. So again, we got rid of this I because there is this metathesis. So we say vd, not vid, but vd, vdova. Yeah. A dad in English, a dad. In Slovak it is tata. So again, similar letters, T and D, dad, tata. A mom or mother. In Slovak it is mama or matier, mother, matier, mom, mama. And there are similar letters, the and t. Yeah, the and t. Mother, matier. A fight, a fighter, and we say boy, which means a fight, and boyar, which means a fighter or a soldier. And fight, I told you, in the Slavic languages, we don't have the F, we didn't have the F letter, therefore we used we used something different, like be. And if you really listen to this word, it's fai. If you replace the F by B, it's bai, bite or bai. And we say boy. Yeah. So fight and boy are basically the same words, but the history just changed. The pronunciation, the development of the letters was a little different in both nations. Fighter, and we say boyar. So you see the ending, while the Germanic languages would have the ending R for, I would say, for like a male. In Slovak we have R, and I think the same is in Sanskrit language is also R. So this is similar of this is similar of the Slavic and Sanskrit R, but the Germans have R. Okay. Then there is the English word guest. We say host, but in Old Slovak we used to say gost, gost, guest, gost, which is almost the same. Yeah. English a baker or to bake, we say pekar. So b and p, b and p are similar letters. And again, the ending R in English, and in Slovak it's R. Yeah, that's we have R, and our Germanic languages have R. So baker, pekar. Basically, those are the same words. Yeah. Hero, we say hrdina. Yeah, okay. Just the beginning is very similar. Hrdina, hero. Hrdina is related to hrud. Hrud. This is hrud. Yeah. This is hrud, which is in English it's a chest. Yeah. So hrdina is someone with like big chest. Okay, hrdina. I don't know what the English word hero comes from. Where it comes from, no idea. In English, you have a pussy or a peach. We have picha. That's a vulgar. Word, to be honest. But you see the similarity. Pussy, picha, yeah. Pucha means also a pussy. But like, for example, puchać means like to bud. If you have a tree and there are the buds, it means to bud. Puchać means to bud. Pučiť means to press. Puk, which is related to this puchať, it means a bud. Puk means a bud. And píšať, which is a word in Slovak, píšať means to piss. Okay. Tits, we say cicky. I can see some similarity. T and C could be related, yeah. A dance, we say taniec. You see, D and T are similar letters, and dance, even though it ends by the sound S, dance, the S in Slavic languages we use ts, not s, but you can hear the similarity, yeah. Ts, s, ts, s, yeah. Dance, taniec. In German it's tanz, tanz. In English you say hop, and we also say hop, which means like to jump a little. Hopla means like jump a little. So that's the same. To dream means to have good dreams, but driemať means to take a nap. Yeah, take a nap. In English, to flow, and in Slovak we say plávať. They are basically this, which means to swim or to flow. Yeah, but I would say better would be like to swim. So if you really think about it, these words are completely the same, but again, the Germanic version has F, the first sound, which the Slavs didn't have, so they used the P instead. So if I replace this F by P, it would be plow, we say plávať, okay? So you see, it's very similar. In English, you say to touch or a tangent, and in Slovak we say týkať sa, even though there is this K, like, which it's not really similar to this ch, touch, but this K actually can be softened in some inclensions, I would say. So for example, we would have like a styčný bod, like styčný bod. S means like together, and tyč means like to touch, and bod means like a point. So the translation would be like a contact point, okay? And dotyčnica means a tangent, because it is touching, yeah, the tangent is touching another curve, you know. So dotyčnica, touch, okay, touch. To cry in English, in Slovak kričať. So you see, cry, kričať, yeah. Could be this of the same origin. In English, to beat someone or to be. In Slovak, we say byť, to beat someone, and byť, which means to be. So basically, to be and byť are sounding very similar. Also, beat someone and byť, they sound almost the same. Saint in English, svätý in Slovak. But we used to say svent, svätý, and that's almost like saint, but it comes from Latin, okay? Weight means váha, which means weight, yeah? We say váha, but if you really think about it, weight, if you really pronounce this GH as Slovaks would, it's like weighed, and this is like vaga, vaga, because as I said, the Slovaks changed the G sound to H. So originally it was vaga, but now we say vaga, vaha. So there is a certain similarity. To suck, we say cucať, which means suck, to suck, and we say sosak, which is a proboscis. Proboscis, I don't know what if I pronounced it correctly. To crouch, in English, we say rozkročiť, to crouch, and you see kročiť means like a step, to make a step apart. Apart, this is like ros, like apart, ros, apart, kročiť, step, kročiť, to step, okay? So kroč and rozkročiť could be similar. English, a bed, and in Slovak we have a word bedro, which is a hip, and basically if you think about it, there's a depression or a hollow where you have the joints, and that is similar to a bed. Bed is like a depression or a hollow place, and that's the bed. And the bedrow has the same kind of derivation, which is a hip, okay? Even though the relation is not visible immediately, but when you think about it, you can see it. In English, bliss or pleasure or please, all these words are related, and we say blaženi, which means like blissed or blessed, yeah, blaženi. So again, b, l, s, j. So there are similar letters, yeah, or pleasure, p, b, yeah, pleasure, blaže, pleasure, blaženi. In English, to thank, in Slovak, ďakovať. Ďakovať means to thank. So this is replaced by d. In German, it is actually danke. Okay. So in English, it is thank. In German, it is danke. And in Slovak, it is ďakovať, yeah. Like that, ďakovať. Dank, ďak, thank. Okay, so it is kind of similar. This is dolmetschen. In German, it means to interpret. We say tlmočiť. So it is almost the same thing. Dolmetschen, tlmočiť. Dolmetschen, tlmočiť. English, to tug. Like to tug. And in Slovak it is ťahať. Ťagať. Okay. A passion in English, a passion. In Slovak it is vášeň. Again, P is replaced by V. So passion, vášeň, vášeň. Okay, passion, vášeň. Those are very similar. In English, caught, and in Slovak, chytiť, catch, chytiť, caught, chytiť. In English, a will, in Slovak, vôľa. V, this one is uo, L, A. Vôľa. Will. Almost the same. In English, to fry, and in Slovak, pražiť. If you really think about it, again, the Germanic F, the Slavs didn't have it, they used P. So it's like pry. If we replace the F by P, it's pry, fry, pry. But we say pražiť, pražiť. Okay. And I have to say pražiť, and related to it is Praga, because if you soften this G, this G sound, you get Ž. So Pražský, yeah, hrad. Pražský hrad means Prague castle, yeah. Prague, Pražský hrad, Prague castle. So this G is softened to Ž. Okay. In English, a shovel is something you work with, shovel. But in Slovak we say šabľa, which is a saber. And again, š, v, b. They are similar, L and L, šabľa. So even though the words mean a different thing, they sound very, very similar. In English you say foot, but in Slovak we say peta, which is a heel. And if you think about, again, the Germanic language has the F sound. In Slovak, we couldn't use this F because we didn't have that sound. We replaced it by P, or I would say the original was P, and then the Germans invented this F sound. So we used to say we say peta. We have this special word, as I said, a wide "a." So it should be pronounced as peta, but we don't care, we say peta. And foot also has the T. So you see foot and peta are basically the same words. Then English, hair, okay. And in Slovak we say hriva, especially of a horse, like a horsehair, I'm sorry. So it's like hair and hriva. And we have this metathesis air to re, yeah, ri, air, ri. So hair, hri, yeah. This part swapped, and you get hri. So hair, hriva. Menses, that's for female. That's what they have. And mesiac, it's a month or the moon. We say mesiac. Also the menses comes from the moon, like the month, you know, because it appears every month. In English, we say to love. In Slovak, we say ľúbiť. But again, V and B are similar letters. The B is more accented. So to love is ľúbiť. In German it is actually lieben. Lieben, ľúbiť. And in Czech they say líbit. Okay. In English you say smart, but in Russian they say smatrit. Smart, smatrit, to look. So someone who has the bright look is a smart person. Maybe there is a similarity, who knows. In English you say to bash or to bang, and you say bullshit, which means to pond or to bash. We say buch, that's the sound, buch, which means a bang, and buchać means like to bang, yeah. So these words are similar. In English, you say to lie or to lay, and we say ležať, to lie on something, or klásť. Again, there is this lay, klásť, which means to lay something, like for example the eggs. And then we have step. You know, in English you have step, you can make a step. And in Slovak we say stúpiť, to step on, okay, stúpiť, to make a step, okay, stúpiť. Stopa, which means a foot, and stup means an entrance. You see, so this word step has some similar counterpart in the Slovak language. For example, postup, that's a procedure, or odstup, that's a setback. For example, výstup means climbing, a climb, and so on. In English you have the word pale, and we say bieli, pale, biel, pale, bieli. Bieli means white, pale means kind of white. To mean, in English you say to mean, I mean something, I mean to say something, you know, I mean. And we say mienim. So again, this is very similar, mienim, I mean. And mienka is like an opinion, mienka. To use, in English you have to use, the word to use. In Slovak we say užívať. If you really think about it, this S in the middle is similar to the Ž, because it's like use, so it's pronounced as Z, and J, Z, they are similar. So use, užívat. Užívat means to use, actually. So they are similar. A crust, like if you have the blood on your skin and then it dries up, then it's called a crust. We say chrasta. Chrasta. It's pronounced as KH, KH, Ch. Chrasta. Not ch. This is not ch, like in Slovak, in ch, no. This is ch. Ch. Chrasta. And then we have animals. It's almost, it's already 1 hour and 20 minutes nearly. Yeah, and I'm just in the middle. But I think I will make a long video. I will not be doing 2 videos because I don't plan to do any other continuation or anything like that. So I will continue, and if who wants to watch it all can watch, and who doesn't want doesn't have to. It's up to everyone, I would say. So a cow, and we say hovedo. If you really think about it, in the Old Slavic it was govedo, but then Slovaks changed the g to h sound. So if you think about gov and kav, cow, gov, those are the same words, yeah. So hovedo and cow are the same words. This one is used very rarely, to be honest, but we usually say krava for a cow, but hovedo, really, we say like hovedzie meso. I can show you. We say hovedo, which means like a cow. But we don't use this one, okay? But we say hovedzie meso, which means a cow meat, basically a beef, okay? So hovedzie, this is very common. Hovedzie meso means like a meat from a cow. Yeah, hovedzie, but we don't say hovedo. Hovedo actually means, it's a vulgar word. If you say someone that he is a hovedo, it means he's a very stupid and bad person. And really like a bad stupid, you know, bad stupid. Anyway, Eve and a sheep, we say ovca, which means an Eve or a sheep. Yeah, ovca. And we have a word, a swine, for a pig. Yeah, a swine. I mean, in English it's a swine, but we say svinia. We say svinia. So it's, again, very similar. In English you say a bug, but if you really think about it, we say vosh, which means a loose. And these are kind of similar, even though it doesn't look like that. But B and V are similar letters. And if you soften the G sound, you get J, which sounds almost like vosh, but it would be voj, but this is vosh. So I see some similarity between a bug and vosh, which is a loose, yeah, which is not a bug but a loose, yeah. A goose, in English, a goose, we say hus. We used to say goose, but now the g changed to h in Slovak, so we say hus, while the English say goose. In English, you have a mouse, and we have myš. Again, S, S, and sh are similar letters. A cat, in English a cat, in Russian they say kot, which means a cat. In Czech they say kočka, which again means like kot, čka, kotka, kočka. In Slovak it is mačka, Yeah, kočka. In Slovak, it is mačka. A cock. In Slovak, it is kokot, which means it is a dick or a cock as an animal, or a penis as a vulgar word. So don't use this one very much, I would say. And there is this word kokoška, which means a chicken in Bulgarian. Yeah. So cock, kokoška. It means the same. The root is the same. The meaning is almost the same. In English, you have a beaver, and we have bobor, which means a beaver. And again, you have the V and B sounds, which are similar. So beaver, bobor. In English, you have a word a rib, which means rebro. It's a very similar rib, rebro. In English, you say a crop or a grave. In Slovak, we say hrvoľ, which means like a bump, like a crop or something like that. It's a crop of a bird, or hrbol, which means a bump. Hrob. In the Old Slovak, it was grob, and it meant something like a bump. Like the grave is actually a bump. And then what else? Yeah, I don't want to go into the details, but also like hrib means a hill, which is related to crop and grave, but this is hrib. Okay, similar, again, similar letters P, B, V, all those are similar, okay? This h, g, similar letters, yeah, k, similar. That's another group, yeah. Then we have a word chrbtica, which is a spine, yeah, chrbtica, in back of my back. And now farming. So a grain, we say zrno. A grain, g is softened to z. If this was z, it would be zrein. We say zrno. It's grain, zrno. Okay. A field, and we say pole. So again, Germanic languages have this F sound, which Slavs didn't have. So field, if you really replace this F by the P, you get a peeled. We say pole. Peeled, pole. Field, pole. Basically, they are similar. A turf. In English, we have the word trava, which means a grass. And yeah, turf is trava. Similar to trava. English, a nest. And we have the word hniezdo, which is very similar if you listen to it. Nest, hniezdo, nest. So it is T and D, T and D. Those are very similar. A butcher or a pasture. And we have a word bacha, which is a shepherd. So maybe it is somehow related. Who knows? We don't really know what the origin of this word bacha. We believe it came from Romania with the Wallachian colonization in the Middle Age. Yeah. Then in English you have the word garden. In Slovak we say zahrada, which means a garden. Originally it was zagrada. Okay, because we used to have the g sound, but now we have the h. So za means like behind, and grada means like a fence. So garden is something like a fenced area. Okay, that's garden. In English, you say an apple, and in Slovak, we say jablko. It's pronounced as jabl. Here is the schwa sound, jablko, jablko. And yeah, you see ep, eb, ab, l, apple, jablko. Okay, so those are similar words. Then you have beach, and we have like the tree beach. We have the word book, which means a beach. We have the word bučina, which means a beech forest. And then to need, we say hnietiť, to need, which means to need. In past, it was gnietiť, because as I said, g changed to h. So it was gnietiť. And this used to be, if you read this with the K, so it's like knid, but I know you pronounce it need, but if you pronounce also the K, so it's knid, and it was gnit, gnit, gnietiť. So it is pretty much similar, okay? Again, to piss, and we say píšať, which means to piss. In English, you have a heart or cardio, and we say srdce for a heart, yeah. But again, if you really think about it, those are the same words, because this K is softened to S. So it's like, if you replay, or if you read this K, this C as S, so it's like sardio, surd, and we say srdce, srdce. So basically, this is really related, yeah, heart and srdce. Even though it doesn't sound so at the first listening. In English, you say to grab, like grab me a beer, something, to grab. And we say hrabať, which means to rake. Like again, like if you use the rake to rake. So it's like hrabať, which means like almost like a grab, you know. In English, you say a fart, like someone is farting. And in Slovak, we say prd, which means a fart. If you really think about it, again, the F is in the Germanic languages, not in the Slavic. Therefore, we use P instead, prd, and in English, fart. But T and D, again, similar letters, yeah. Basically, these words are identical. In English, you say live or live. But if you say live, in Slovak it is živý, so live. In Italian it's vivo, vivo. We say živý, vivo, živo, vivo, živo, vivo, živý. In English, you say is or eat, and we say je or jest. But if you, yeah, it's not really, it cannot be seen really well. But if you think about it, eat and jest, it has something similar, because like for example, the past tense of eat is jedli, jedli, eat, ed, could be similar, okay? In English, you say a flock or a bulk. In Slovak, we say pluk, which means a regiment, okay? So a bulk, it's like a group of people, or a flock is like a group of animals. So pluk really means like a group of soldiers, a regiment, okay? In English, you say a hook, we say hak. I think that is quite clear that these are similar. In English, you say a year. In Slovak, you say jar, but jar really means a spring season. So it's not a year, but it's a spring season, the spring. So it looks like the Slavs counted the years by the springs, not by summers. Like sometimes in the Czech language, they count the summers, but it looks like, oh, actually not the Slavs counted the years by the springs, but actually it looks like the English counted the years by the springs, because year is the spring season in the Slavic languages. Okay, so if there is a certain similarity, then yeah, I have to correct this. Okay, I will. Mead, you know, that's the fermented honey wine. Mead. And we say med, that's for honey. And we say medovina, which means like med, like honey, and vina, like wine. So it's like honey wine, fermented honey wine. Okay, so mead and med are similar. Actually, I don't know if you know, but Attila, the Hun, when he conquered the Carpathian Basin, he married, and he died the same evening when he married. And when he died, he had a funeral, and his people were drinking the mead, which is a fermented wine. Okay, but really in the Slavic language, med means honey. So they were. It's very interesting that the word mead has we understand this word because it has the origin in the honey. And also when this Attila died, the people celebrated a certain celebration, which was called Strava. Yeah, that's written in the Deeds of the Goats by the Jordanes in the 6th century. And the Strava, that's supposed to be the Hunnic word, but it's actually the Slavic word, and it means food. It means food. So it's really interesting to learn that the Hunnic people were using the mead and Strava, and both words are known to the Slovak people, basically. Strava means food, and stravné lístky. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to switch the keyboard. Stravné lístky means food tickets. Okay, so you see Strava and stravné. This is long because it has the acute, the line. Okay, stravné lístky. This is again long, lístky. Okay. Building and mining. Now, another group of words. So in English you say to build, or a building, a booth. In Slovak we say budinok or budova for a building. Budovať means to build, and búdka means a booth, like a booth for birds. So búdka for birds, yeah, búdka. But for example, Budapest, that's a Hungarian version of the name of the city, which was Slovak first, and the Slovak name is Budín. This is the name Budín, and I think it is related to a building. Okay, so Budín is like a saint building or something like that, you know, like a sanctuary building. In English you say a shop, we say šopa, And this word was brought to Slovakia from United States by the immigrants who returned from America. And we call, it means in Slovak, it means a workshop or a storage house. Okay, so in English it's a shop. In Slovak it's šopa. In English you say a house or a kitchen. And in Slovak we say chyža, which means a wooden house. It's like in the old times, but we don't use this word anymore. But chyža is like something similar, like a very poor house, I would say. And house, if you really think about it, h and h are similar letters, and s and ž are again similar letters. So house and chyža sound similar to me. But if you really think chyža sounds similar to kuča, chyža, kuča, again kind of similar, čž, chyža, kuča. But kuča really means a room in Serbian or Serbo-Croatian. But kuča sounds similar to kitchen, kuča. Okay, in Slovak we used to say kutica, which means a room, or kuchyňa, that's how we call a kitchen, kuchyňa. So basically kitchen, house, they all sound kind of similar. In English you have a word, a door, and we say dvere, which means a door. Yeah. In English you say fillings, or to file something like the nails, you file the nails. In Slovak we say piliny, which means the fillings, like if you cut the wood, you get the fillings. And again, if you think about it, the Germanic F is related to the Slavic P, L is the same, N, so fillings, piliny, they are kind of related, yeah. Pilit means to sew, pilovat means to file either some wood or nails. A moss means mach in Slovak, which means a moss. A moss in English is a mach, is mach. That looks like a grass, but you know, moss was used by the old Slavs as an insulation between logs of their wooden houses. Yeah, so they had the logs of the houses and they put the moss in between so that no cold air would go through the spaces, you know. In English you say light, like for example, someone is light, or basically not heavy, yeah, light. In Slovak we say ľahký, which means light, as of low weight, and it is pronounced as ľahký, okay, ľahký. Even though there is the h sound here, we have something like similarity in pronunciation. So we don't always pronounce the letter as we should, like h, because it would be very hard to pronounce it like ľahký, you know. But we pronounce it with the similar word, similar letter, ľahký, yeah. So to make it easier, lead in English, lead, the metal means olovo, but it's not really related to this one. But I think if the verb liať means to pour, and I believe this liať is kind of related to this lead, because usually we you know, olovo sa leje, we say the lead is poured, you know. I don't know if they are related, but anyway, they sound similar. In English, you have a town, and we have this word teen in certain words, but it's not used anymore. I believe the origin of this word comes from the Celts, and it really means a town or a castle. And our greatest castle is called Devin. In the old records, it was written as Dovina. And if you really think about it, Dovina is nothing else but a town. Except for that the T is replaced by the similar D. And Down or Dovina, it's basically town, and Dovina, basically the W, W, N, N. So the name of our castle, the most important and most famous castle, actually means just a castle, yeah, Dovina, which is actually a town. It was a town. And Devin sounds like Devin sounds like Deva, and Deva means a girl. And that's written in the old sources that this Dovina castle, the name Dovina means a girl in the Slavic language, yeah, in Slavic, okay. But I think the Slavs didn't understand the meaning, that it was just a town in the Celtic, okay. In English, because the Slavs came here to Slovakia after the Celts. There were first Celts, and then some Germanic tribes, and then the Slavic tribes. In English, you have a sift, and we have sito, which is a sift. They sound kind of similar. In English, you have a valley or a wall. In Slovak, we have valov, which is a trough for feeding pigs. So it's something with a depression from which the pigs eat the food. Then we have the word valetsa, means to wallow, or we have the word val, which means the rampart of a castle. Yeah. In English, you have the word a fort, like a fortress. We have grad or hrad, which means a fort. So grad, you see the ending is D and T. Again, they are similar. R and F and G, they're not very similar, but there must be some kind of a similarity, you know, some connection, because then we have another word which is called varad, and varad sounds more similar because this Germanic F is replaced by the Slavic V. So fort is like varad, which means a fort or a castle. Vradište, which means again a fort. So actually vorok means a fence in Russian. Okay, so in English you have a close or a closure or a claustrum. In Latin, a castle. In Slovak we have hrad, but a close. In Slovak we have ključ, which means a key, okay? So you use the key to close something. So we say, instead of close or closure, we say ključ. Ključ, like a key, is used for closing something, okay? In English you have a door. We have dvere. I think I already used this one. In English you have gold. In Slovak we have zlato, again, which means a gold. Again, it doesn't sound very similar, but it is. G and Z. They're not very similar, but if you think about the other letters, so we have L L and D and similar T. So gold, zlato, gold. Yeah. And if you think about żołd, that's a soldier's pay. Okay, like they get żołd every month. Żołd, like a salary, a soldier's salary. It's żołd, but I believe it comes from gold because it is just yeah, it's similar. The g, when you soften g, you get ż, so it's żołd. Okay, I believe so. Legal. So true. In English, you have true. In Slovak, it's pravý. And if you think about it, again, T and P are kind of similar because also you have in English, you have the god Thor, and in Slovak we have Perun. Perun. So this th and p are kind of similar, or air, yeah. So th, p. And here you have true and pravý. So true, T, P, kind of similar. R are the same. This U is similar to this V. So if I read this in Slovak, it would be true, true. This is pravý, pravý, okay? True, pravý. So they are kind of similar if you want to see it. Pravdivý means true, právo means the right or law, pravda means a truth, vpravo means the right side, and yeah. In English you have the word clever, and in Slovak you have the word slava. And if you think about K, K, and S are kind of similar. L, V, L, V. So slava means a glory, clever means someone is clever. I don't know if they are related, but we have another word, slovo, which is related to slava. And slovo means a word. And someone is really clever if he can speak and knows a lot of words. I don't know. So basically, I thought there would be some similarity. So slovo and clever. I don't know. What do you think? For example, there is this clever, and there is this Byzantine Empress Cleopatra. And Cleo, I think, means slava, like a glory, and patra means father. So it really means something like the glory to the father. I think so. In English, you have the word a leader, leader, and we say vladar, a ruler. But if you really think about it, leader, and ladder, vladar, LDR, LDR, so leader, vladar. So basically they seem to be similar. In English you have the word king, a king. In Slovak we say knieža. If you really soften this G, this G sound, you get Ž, so it would be kinž, but we have knieža, kinž, knieža. Again, there is this metathesis in to ni, knieža, yeah, in. Let me show you. King, k, now the metathesis, n-i, g. Now softening of the g to ž, kniež, and we say knieža, okay? So that's how it works. Now, in English you say a suit, like a lawsuit. In Slovak we say súd, which means a trial, a court, or a sue. But we used to say a sond, which doesn't sound like suit. We used to say sond. There was this nasal O sound, sond. And we have another word which is like sud, and it really means a barrel. And I was told that the trials in the past were done like they put the convicts in the barrels with the water, they put them under the water, and the one who endured longer under the water was the one who was telling the truth, because the God helped him to endure longer. And basically that's how the ancient trials were made. I don't know if it's true, but some people think that from the barrels the word sud as a trial is derived. Okay, who knows? In English you say a tree, and we say drevo, which means a wood or a tree. We also say strom, which is a tree. But if you think about it again, T is a similar letter with D. Yeah, with D. R are the same. Yeah, so tree, drevo, tree, drevo. And strom, if you really think about it, it has the combination of TR in it, which is also in the word tree. So tree, strom, it has something to do, something similar. In English, you have a book. In Slovak, we have book, which is a beach, a tree. But we also have bukvica, which is a beach or a letter. Bukvica is like a fruit of the beach, but also it's a letter, bukvica, like letter A, B, C, D. So they are called bukvi in Russian. Okay, bukva here, bukva, that's a letter in Russian. So a book and bukva. Book is, a book which you read, and bukva is a letter which you read. So there is certain similarity, In English, you have the word like to meet someone, or to meet somewhere. In Slovak, we have mito, which is a toll, and we have mítnica, which is like a toll place where you meet the police and you pay the toll. So I believe that mítnica is related to the English meet word. I don't know for sure, but I see a similarity. Okay, in English you have a coin, like a money, like money, a coin. In Slavic we have kuna, which is a Croatian currency. It's called kuna. So the Croatians think that their currency is called after a marten, which is an animal. But actually it might be related to a coin, to the coin word. So the currency would be a coin. Yeah, it makes sense. Maybe the coin really is derived from a marten in Croatian, which is kuna. Who knows? Who knows? And we have the word kov, which means a metal, a coin. Who knows if they are related? Yeah. In geography, we have some similar words. For example, we have a hill. In Germanic, it's holm, like in Stockholm, which means like a stock hill, something. And in Slovak, we have hil, which is a hill, but it's a very rare word, as I'm writing here. And it's an almost unknown word. Originally, it was called gil in the Old Slavic, and there is a hill called Gilitka, southwest of Hungarian town of Eger, which we call Jager. which belonged to the Slovak territory in the past. Okay, but we have this holm in English. Or in Germanic you have this holm. In Slovak we say chlm. So the h sound we approximate by ch sound, and we kick off this o. There is actually the metathesis, and it's like I show you again. So again, holm. Is like holm, is like chlom, and it's like chlm, and it is basically how we pronounce it, chlm. Okay, so holm is chlm. Okay, and that's how it is. In English you have a C, something like lake, or like salt lake. Yeah, it's a sea. But we say jazero, which means a lake, like a sweet water lake. But again, you see the ze, si, ze, si. So we say jazero, si. So they are similar. In English, you have a bog. We say bažina, which is a bog, a mud, or a swamp. And there is the palatalization of g to j. And basically, bog they are exactly the same words. Yeah, exactly. In English, you have a bald, a plateau, flat. And in Slovak, you have plešina, a bald, someone is bald. Or plošina, a plateau. Okay, plošina. And again, you see B and P are similar with the F also, while F is the Germanic version. Yeah, plateau. Yeah, the T, they are similar. This D and T here, but here somehow they got palatalized to sh, so plešina. Basically, they are somehow related. Okay. In English, you have a cap, like a cap, and in Slovak we have čapica, which is a cap, or čiapka, a cap, or čepiec, a cap for a bride, or a bonnet, or we have kapuca, which is a hood, yeah, kapuca. Or we have kapota of a car, so a car hood, okay, kapota. So you see this word kap is used not only in English, but also in the Slovak, čap. It's not cap, but it's a palatalized K to ch, so it's čap, not kap. It's čapica, čiapka. In English you have a cape, like a Cape Coral. And in Slovak we have kopec. So again, I think this kopec is also related to this cap, or čapica, or cape. But it really means kopec, like a hill, like a cape. Okay. But the root of the words is the same, kop. Okay. By the way, kopať means to dig. Okay. So in English you have the word a waist. In Slovak you have the word púšť. Even though they don't seem very similar, they are. And a púšť means a wasteland or a desert. And W, like V, and P are similar. S, sh are similar. I don't know why it wouldn't, yeah. T and T are almost similar, okay. T, ć, so waist, púšť, they are the same or similar. Pustatina is like a wasteland again, like a land where there are no people, no animals, just some bushes or something. But pushed, this is like the sand desert, okay, while this would be like an abandoned land or something like that, without people, without houses, yeah, with some bushes and so on. In English, you have water. In Slovak, we have voda, water, voda, water, voda, almost the same, okay? Even the American pronunciation is kept, because this is pronounced in American English as water, water, kind of D sound here, and we use the D again, so voda. I've heard that why are the words so similar, okay? So first of all, in Russia, where the Slavs used to live, or in Ukraine, that was the area where the Vikings were traveling through to the Arabic countries, and the Vikings were kind of traders, so they traded, and they were like they purchased something in the Arabic countries, they brought it back, and then they sold the goods from Scandinavia in the Arabic countries, okay? Usually some skins, like animal skins and so on. And so these people, these Germanic people, mixed up with the Slavic people. But also, I've heard that the Slavic peoples lived in United Kingdom, actually before it became England or whatever. It was called Albion, and it was inhabited by the Slavs. That's what I've heard. And the Slavs were kind of pushed away by the Anglo-Saxons, okay? So some of the Slavs might have stayed or remained in England, and they might have mixed with the Anglo-Saxons. Maybe some of the words the Anglo-Saxons accepted from the Slavs. Maybe some words were accepted by the Slavs from the Vikings. Who knows? But I know that the Goths, who were the Scandinavians, the Ostrogoths, Visigoths, Gepids, they were all Germanic tribes. They mixed with the Slavic tribes, and therefore that's why there are these similar words in both languages, okay? In both groups of the languages, I would say. So weather. So in English you have a word snow. In Slovak it is sněh. Again, kind of similar. In English you have the word sleet, which is like rain with the snow. Sleet. In Slovak we say slota for bad weather, rain. I don't really know the exact meaning of this word slota, but that's the surname of a politician in the past, quite well known in Slovakia. So slota means like a bad weather or something like that. So sleet, slota, they could be related, okay? And now we have the miscellaneous words, the words which I couldn't really categorize. Excuse me. So a row, riadok, which means a row, kind of sound similar. Yes sounds like jest, which in Slovak means like it is. So if someone says yes, he actually is saying, yeah, it is. So it is so, okay? It is so, yes, it is so. So it is really, we used to say yes, and it looks like the yes part is here, which means actually it is. Okay, yes, it is. I don't know the origin of the yes word. It could be different, and there could be different hypothesis, but this one is mine, okay? In English, you have the word east, and in Russian, there is this word Vostok, which means east. And again, inside you see you have the Ost. Oh my goodness, why I cannot select it like Ost, east, Ost, Vostok, okay? In English, you say red. In Slovak or in Czech actually, they say rudý, which means red, but it is related to the word ruda, which is also a Slovak word, and it means ore, as a metal rust is of red color. So rudý means like red because the rust is red. And it is kind of related to the word hruda, which means a lump, for example, of clay, because when they were digging for the metals, they were digging the lumps, the hrudi, okay, hruda, like a piece of soil, okay, hruda. In English, you have the word enter or interior, they are related. And we have the word vnútro, which means inside or interior. Vnútro. If you really think about it, enter, vnútr. So they are kind of similar. In English, you have the word flame. In Slovak, we have the word plameň. Even though they don't sound very similar, they are very, very similar, because again, this F, that's the Germanic F, and I believe it comes from Latin, because I think flamengo means it's a certain type of a bird, a reddish bird, and like a flame bird, flamingo. So flame, we say plameň, but we couldn't use the F sound, f, because the Slavs, as I said, were not able to pronounce it, or it was just not natural for them to use this letter, because they didn't use it, and they instead used the word p, plameň, flame, plameň, okay? You see, if this was replaced by p, it would be like plame, like plameň, like almost the same thing. In English, you have the word both. In Slovak, we say oba. So again, it like b, oba, both, oba. It sounds like if there was this metathesis, obaja, obidvaja. It means like, again, it means both. So it sounds kind of similar, who knows. Television, like tele, comes from Latin, but we have a word diaľka, which means like a distance. And really, if you really think about it again, T and D are similar, and L, tele, L. Oh my goodness, I cannot select it. Tele and this L are also similar. So diaľka and tele are kind of related. In English, you say cold. We say chlad. In German, they say kalt. So you see, there are these similar letters k, ch, and here is the metathesis. I will show you again. So you have cold, which is, if I use the K word, is cold, which if I do the metathesis, I swap the OL by LO, I get Claude. And now, if you really think about it, if I replace the K by H, and basically in Slovak we say chlad, okay, which means a cold, yeah. So cold means chlad. Basically, they are related without any doubt. In English, you say a point. In Slovak, we say bod. They are also similar. P and B are similar. And T and D are again similar, okay? So you see the similarity. In English, you say not as a I am not, okay? And we say niet, 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 which means it is not, okay? So again, you see some kind of a similarity. In English, you say replenish or to refill or full. And we say doplniť, like replenish, which means to replenish. And again, you see plen, plniť, and plniť. Okay, and again, full. And if you think about it, we in Slavic languages don't use F, but P, or something similar like B, but this time P. So it would be pull. So it's like PL, yeah. So full, PL, or plný. Plný actually means full, plný, pull. And again, I can show, it's like pronounced as pl, the schwa, plný. I can show you the metathesis, like full. Now I replace the F by P, would be pull. Now I do the metathesis, P, L, U, okay? I swap the L and U, blue. And in Slovak we say plný, plný, plný. So full, plný. That's how it works. Very easy. You know, very easy. There are really just 2 or 3 rules, and you can make your derivation by yourself. In English, you say hey. In Slovak, also we say hey, but it doesn't. But yeah, but it doesn't sound. It's not used as a greeting because. Actually, it's very impolite if you say hey. So I would advise not to use it. Only when you are calling for a help, then you can use hey, like hey, please help me, hey. But otherwise, like if you are in a restaurant and you say hey to like hey waitress, hey, now she might not serve you. Because that's an offense to call her hey, because we have a saying like, okay, so hey you come here, hey you come here, and you say I'm not named hey, I'm not named hey, I have a name, so don't call me hey. So to use hey in Slovakia is really offensive, you know. And I would be very careful because to use it, because once I was in a restaurant and I wanted to save the journey to a waitress, and I called, so I called at her, hey, please stop, come back, please. And basically she got so offended that she refused to serve us for the rest of the night, and we had to leave because we wouldn't get another beer. This happened in Bratislava. Some of the people in Bratislava are kind of, you know, they like to get offended. I would put it this way, diplomatically, and you can translate it in your language as you want. In English, you say rather. We say radšej, which means rather. So basically you see rather, radšej, yeah, it's kind of similar. In English you say previous. We say prv, which means earlier or before. So again you see prv, prv. Okay, sounds similar. In English you say to screw. We say skrútiť, to screw. In English, you say to prepare. We say pripraviť, prepare, pripraviť. Sounds very similar. I think a lot of these words come from Latin, okay, so maybe that's the reason why they are so similar. But some of them are not, definitely not coming from Latin, but from Celtic languages, and they are also similar, okay. In English, you have the word brightness, but it's not, this bright is not important. This ending is important in this case, because in Slovak we say jasnosť, which this nes is kind of, we have a similar ending, osť, nes, nosť, nes, nosť, yeah, which is also interesting that there is such a connection, okay. In English, you have the word still, and we say stále, which means still. So again, you see the similarity. In English, you say to ring. In Slovak, we say rinčať, which means to ring. And again, it sounds like this G is softened to ch. So it's like ring, rinčať, okay. And in English, you say sheer, and we say číri, which means sheer, like the sheer glass, okay. And again, it's very similar, okay. In English, you say a char, warm, glare, flare, glow. All these words seem to be kind of similar. And we have the word žiar, which means a glow, or žiara, which means a glare or a flare, žiara. And again, if you think about it, then flare or glare, if you soften g, you get zh, this one, but you have the r already here, so it sounds like the glare and the žiara are similar. And it's the same kind of thing like when you have the grain, grain, and the Slovak zrno, okay, so which is also grain, okay, so g, z, and in this case we have g and zh, okay. All right, so now you see how many words you have learned without learning. So I wish you all the best with your practicing. That's pretty much it. I thank you for your time. And I don't believe I will make another part of this lecture. So yeah, feel free to write a comment and let me know how you are liking it here in Slovakia, if you are here. And yeah, I will be happy to read your comments. Thank you very much.